This episode of Capes and Lunatics is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. Get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
Recording has started.
There's a thin line between heroism and madness.
Here the line fades to nothing at all.
This is a world of Capes and Lunatics.
And nothing is off limits.
Hello, good morning. The circus is about to start. Capes and Lunatics. Number 117 starts right now. Hello and welcome to the Capes and Lunatics. That's right, we're now streaming on Facebook, Periscope, which is putting it on Twitter, YouTube, and right here on Get Vocal. I am Phil, joining me as always, the gray cloud hanging over Charlie Esser's head. Galactus! That's Little Hellfire 69. And under the gray cloud is
Charlie, the Professor Esser.
So just awesome that Little is the gray cloud. How ironic.
Yeah. You know what? It's like Elaine and George. One is up and one is down, and Jerry just breaks even.
I broke even.
Yeah, exactly.
I threw $20 out the window and I found one in my pocket. Seinfeld reference starting off. Oh, it's going to be a good episode, guys.
You know you could have threw a pencil out the window.
Okay.
So, Lilith wants to talk boys.
The boys.
Oh, she's boys crazy. What can you say?
The floor is yours, Miss Hellfire.
So, you don't care about spoilers, Philip.
No.
Philip's only on episode 1. I'm on episode 6, and Charlie has completed it. And for a more thorough discussion, probably check out Super Connectivity. What number was that?
Was it last week?
2 weeks ago?
No.
Oh, last week?
Oh, I don't know. 247, 248, depending what week it was. You should listen to all Super Connectivity.
Well, of course.
We'll talk about it some more. I forget what I talk about week to week, and so I retread things. Gotta do that for the new listeners. Remember, every podcast is somebody's first.
So, did either of you actually read the comic book?
Uh-uh.
I read a few of them. I actually, I think I read a reprint of The Boys number 1 a long time ago. I picked them up from time to time. I mean, here's what I'm going to say.
This is what it should have been. Like, honest to God, the movie. This is what it should have been. Like, this is just such a scathing, satirical F you.
Yeah. Well, here's what I'll say. The original Boys comic was a little too graphic for my taste. Whereas this, I think, gets the humanity of the characters right. And I know that it is the same humanity and you do have a lot of the same qualities there, but I think in that televised, I think it works better in a video medium than it did as a comic book.
And I'm going to tell you why. Okay, so I'm so proud of Kripke. He finally has a hit. He left Supernatural after season 5, and he went on to do, Revolution, which was, it's one of those shows that just kind of came and went. He was also behind Timeless. That kind of came and went. And a couple other things he tried for Amazon, but they didn't really pick up. So this is, a really big, get, and I'm so happy for him, and it's just great. And it kind of reminds me of Supernatural in a little bit if you're, familiar with Eric Kripke, so. I was just like, oh, yeah, I totally see a little Sam and Dean here and there. I see a little Bobby. I see a little, Sheriff Jody. So, yeah, it's been fun so far. But I want to say I really hate A-Train.
Oh, well, you're supposed to.
I know, but okay, so I was just like,
I hate him, and I'm not even through episode 1 yet.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. I know you're supposed to, but I'm just like, you get, because A-Train isn't black in the comics, so I'm just like, oh, sure, give the black people the murdering junkie. Cool.
Yeah, I did not realize he wasn't black in the comics.
Lonzo, which I'm just like, oh, Lonzo is a treasure. Mother's Milk. You. He did show, I forget the name of the show. Oh, Breakout Kings. which was by the guy who did Prison Break too, and he's been in a couple other things. But like, yeah, Laz Alonso is a treasure, and I'm just so happy that they cast him as Mother's Milk because he just has that voice for sarcasm, and he really keeps Carl Urban in check. And I'm just like, if Carl Urban isn't the new Wolverine, I don't know what we're doing. I feel like this was
thinking the exact same thing. I've been thinking, oh, that's our new Wolverine. Okay, I'm glad we got that out of the way.
I love Carl Urban, and I was devastated when Almost Human was canceled. F you, Fox.
Damn it, Jimmy's a doctor, not a
Don't worry,
not a murderer.
the Fox can't hurt our X-Men anymore.
I know. That's the one thing I'm thankful for the mouse too. They will take care of them.
They will take care of them. Assembly line.
But yeah, I've really been enjoying the show. Everybody that I've talked to about the show really likes it. So
Okay. I have one big gripe with this.
Oh boy.
And I do want to get a gripe in there. They have okay, major spoilers. Are we out of the way? Okay.
yeah,
And I'm not sure where this falls, but I think it's before, it's way before 6, but, Phil, he's slow.
Wait a second.
They have translucent in the cage.
yes.
They make the magic bullet. And they don't throw paint on him before they shoot him.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking the whole time. Like, you have him passed out. Put the clothes on him or something to make him visible. Jesus.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, throw paint, paint.
Paint, flour, anything.
Yeah, it's and that way you don't have a freaking magic bullet ricocheting around, knocking the tinfoil loose so that they can find his RFD chip.
Yeah, but isn't that like the whole point? Is like, just because you have superpowers doesn't mean you're good at your job.
Well, this is the point. They're supposed to be good at their jobs.
Well,
They're the guys who are supposed to. Yeah.
maybe you're not supposed to like run through people and kill them either. But
Well, he was high. This is why we don't use superpowers and do drugs. Drugs are bad, okay?
Well, but here's what I'll say for his character is you do get the weight, and also I think with Haley Joel Osment, hey, another great star turn for Haley Joel Osment.
Yes.
I thought, and not for nothing, it's just a great play on the entire Haley Joel Osment character there. The Sixth Sense character, as the mesmerizer. I love that. But I like the fact that they showed that, this life is addictive and you don't want to be a B-tier superhero.
Poor Power Claw.
Oh yeah, Power Claw. Well, you know what? You can make an argument that she maybe got poor A-Train into a lot of mess with this too. I mean, she's the one supplying the Compound V. She's the one who is the addict. What I find fascinating about Compound V is obviously it does affect different people differently, and I get the feeling that Power Claw kind of had to take it to maintain powers, whereas other people don't even need it. They got their one dose and they're good. Like Homelander.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Homelander ever needs, or Queen Maeve, who.
Like, oh my God, could they have cast somebody to look more like Gal Gadot without casting Gal Gadot, by the way? But let's give her red hair for
established it, and everybody is just trying to be Xena. Okay? Let me just say that. Yeah.
I will give you that.
Yes, you can go Gal Gadot, but it's really Xena.
all right, let me give you one better. Everyone's trying to be Linda Carter.
Well, no, Linda Carter is the Linda Carter Wonder Woman is a very different character than what we normally see. Linda Carter Wonder Woman is very much a paragon character, where she is both the ideal and the ideal hero in the way that she presents her superheroism. Mm-hmm. Whereas I think even Gal Gadot is really, her idealism almost comes off as naivete for the character, and is a much more conflicted when she loses her naivete. Wonder Woman, Linda Carter's Wonder Woman, I feel, isn't naive. She's naive. She's just She's like, like Superman or Captain America. She just knows what's right and is going to do what's right. It's not naivety. It is it is direction. Queen Maeve is, I get the feeling that people like Homelander and Queen Maeve really, at least in this iteration, had a moment in their lives where they really thought being a hero was a good idea. I actually think that Queen Maeve actually is in that spot most of the time. And Homelander, of course, I think, likes the idea of being a hero and sees being a hero kind of in the way that, like, a Superior Spider-Man does, where there's a set of rules of what you are as a hero, and he's going to check those boxes, and that makes him a hero. Mm-hmm. And doesn't internalize the reasons to be a hero. But that's my opinion. What do you think, Lilith?
I kind of agree, but let's talk about The Deep. Like, oh my god, I was like, this, okay, so first of all, The Deep is played by Chase Crawford, which, if you are of a certain age, from Gossip Girl, and he kind of plays the good-looking, bumbling idiot there, too, so I'm like, poor Chase Crawford, just can't catch a break, he's typecast.
Yeah, he's good at it, you gotta give him that.
I absolutely love it. I feel like he's channeling, like, a little bit of the Ted McGinley Aquaman from The Brave and the Bold with a little bit of Jason Momoa. Like,
yeah. I feel that I think they definitely did the Jason Momoa redesign on The Deep, although that might be more related to the comic books and the actual redesigns they did of the original Aquaman. But so here's my big question on The Deep: does he feel a way about dolphins, or is it truly just a platonic relationship? Like,
I think him and dolphins like to get it on, yeah. Because, dolphins are randy. They are.
Oh, I know. And definitely the dolphin, did you see with the dolphin in the truck?
Yes.
The dolphin in the truck definitely wanted to hit that, and he's kind of like, this really isn't the time or the place, and I kind of got the feeling like it's not that he wants to be with a dolphin. I got it that he was like, no, dolphins are beautiful creatures, and I want to save dolphins. I don't want to be with a dolphin. That's my take on that.
No one can see,
Yeah, and so, but, I think he likes humans, which is why he did what he did.
They didn't give him a pet octopus. That's all that I'm saying.
So I know that, everyone makes the comparison to the Justice League, but, are we just like...
Well, there's a lot of other...
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, I was getting Squadron Supreme vibes, but I was saying with The Deep, are we, like, calling out Namor, saying, like, he can't keep it in his pants?
Yes.
Well,
yeah. Curious the whole time. He's like, I love how he's like, I'm a diversity hire. I'm a joke. And I'm just like, well, technically Aquaman can kick Superman's ass, so no.
Yeah. In the water.
Oh.
That's the thing.
He can pierce his skin and he can punch him pretty hard to make him bleed.
Okay.
So, outside the water. How did that work? Like, I don't question how that works when he's on land. I don't think about it.
Yeah. Well, Superman also has flight and laser beam eyes. And that's the thing, and that is what you get with...
Let's talk buildings now. Let's not...
Yeah, I'm not trying to diminish Aquaman. I'm just saying, when you compare him to Superman, you have to take into the fact that, like Homelander, you only get to beat him because he's decided not to use the full breadth of his powers for defeating him.
Superman's an idiot.
I was going to say, why are we holding Superman up to such a high standard? He can be taken out by a millionaire with a meteorite on his finger.
Well, no, he can't.
Oh,
that's
really? Who's playing Black Noir? They've got, like, the easiest damn job.
Oh, but that any actor wants to talk. I'm just saying. And to be fair, we don't know that A-Train is the only black character. So,
true.
We don't know. To me, I just assume Black Noir is black. I don't know why, but I just assume that, He's the Batman pastiche in The Boys.
Are you letting him watch The Boys?
I'll let him watch The Boys. There was only one scene that I really felt was too over the top, and that was the head-crushing scene.
Yeah, even that kind of shocked me, and I'm just like, wow.
Oh, man, I gotta watch this. Let's shock the Lilith.
Oh, Lilith, did you get to the Dave Chappelle scene?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay. I believe that's Dave Chappelle. He looks a lot and sounds like it. Okay,
that's not Dave Chappelle. That's actually Rufus from Timeless, and I can't remember his real name right now. Oh my god, yeah.
Oh, well, okay. He looks and sounds a lot like Dave Chappelle. My dad.
I was going to say, I can't wait.
When I saw Timeless, and I was like, wait a minute. Dave Chappelle's doing TV, and I don't know about it? That can't be right. Let me Google this.
Okay, yeah. But,
I got to see this character who can't be Dave Chappelle because Charlie got it wrong.
Okay. I'm just saying, you know what? And I haven't seen Chappelle's show in a long time. And he's a little more heavy-set than Dave Chappelle, so that, but I assume he hasn't been on TV in a while. Maybe he put on weight,
Chappelle.
Not everyone can maintain this perfect figure when you have to be on camera as much as I do.
What? Okay. Yeah.
But anyway, no, I mean, just the boys
it is rough. I actually just got past that scene before we started, so.
But actually, what I gotta say is, I love the fact that they do, with Homelander in that first episode, make a lot of interesting, like, for example, when Starlight comes in and she's feeling all of the ways she does about what happened to her with the Deep, and everyone's talking about licensing and merching, and then Homelander says, no, I want to hear about who did you save. And it's like, right in that moment, you can see Starlight getting this sense that this is why I'm here. This is why I want to be a hero. This is why it's worth it. When Homelander, of course, decompensates later on, and really goes off the rails because, again, as that poor dang handler is trying to say, that's not your job. You're the face, not the writer. And, that is, which he does not like. He very much wants to, he wants to direct. That is, I think, Homelander's big problem.
You got a shadow first.
No, but it all came so easy to him. And, no, I mean, the way they play Homelander is really fascinating. And, like I say, I think they've managed to take what should be an abominable character and almost make him sympathetic. He's like all Thanos level in the fact that, had a hard life and never really experienced what a proper world should have been, And I like that about him. I like that about him. Did you see the scene with the baby?
Yeah.
I thought that was a great, I thought that was a good homage to the scene in the comics with the other laser eye baby. But they found a way to put that scene in there without having him have to kill a baby, which is...
I love how he told him, like, you keep your nose cleaner, I'm gonna come back and get you. He's the boogeyman.
You know what? But that is what's great about that. Like I said, that's what's great about it. And I also found it fascinating that apparently they really hadn't killed a lot of supers before this. And you kind of got this feeling, at least I did from the books, that, oh yeah, they're, taking out supers left and right. And here it's like, no, it's just like random flukes that we happen to have done this a couple of times. So that the Simon Pegg pastiche, and by the way, it's so great to have Simon Pegg as the dad.
Yes! Oh my god!
Yeah. Although that was my biggest complaint about this. He says that, like, his favorite, when he talks about music and the shirts he wears, because he wears all of these, like, heavy metal punk rock shirts, but he likes it's like, what are you trying to say here, And he's got, like,
you go to Walmart, there's the t-shirts, and you're just like, I already have this Flash t-shirt, I already have the every little thing's gonna be okay roster shirt, so I'm just gonna grab these shirts here, and it is what it is, and that's okay. You don't have to be a fan of this shirt.
Fair enough. I found that an interesting dichotomy, even when he goes to his room, and he has of course he has all his superhero posters, and then he has his rock and roll posters, and it's like, but none of these guys are the kind of music you say you listen to, So that was an interesting thing. I can see what you're saying, that he's just kind of a poser, but I don't know. I don't feel the character would be. I guess that's my thing. Is I don't think he'd be a poser.
He's lost, and he's like timid, and he just wants to kind of fit in, and that's his journey, that's his arc, that's the lens that we're supposed to be through, I guess. And I guess
fight hard.
Yeah, and
I kind really do enjoy the dual POV from Wee Huey and Starlight. I really do enjoy those two together. I think those actors have great chemistry.
Oh yeah, that is the emotional through line of the series, and you compare that with Butcher, and which I do think is a neat aspect of it, of like, this person who has this very negative view of supers, but again, a negative view of supers that is based exclusively on a personal relationship.
He's really the Batman of this show, not Black Noir.
Well, arguably. But this is my thing. Is like, I don't think if Homelander hadn't done what he did, and for the record, this is kind of a thing for me. And this is a bit spoilery. I don't think, and maybe they did really establish it in the comic books, but I don't ever remember reading that. I didn't read a lot of the comic books, and they certainly don't establish it in this show that it wasn't consensual. My mind is, he was always, in my mind, it's like, yeah, he got cuckolded by Homelander, and that is the derivation.
You say that word too many times, the alt-right shows up, so careful.
Oh, okay. But he, that I think is his motivation. It's this idea that, and not for nothing, as an interesting aspect of this whole thing, this Compound V, there's a lot of ways you can twist this story where he might not even be mad at the right person, we see them giving the baby in this, we see them giving the babies the Compound V, but, how Compound V is getting into the system, we don't necessarily know. And again, we don't know how many people are getting the Compound V and are...
Yes.
Yeah, and of course the female is amazing. I really love that character. She is going to be awesome. I hope. But so far what we've seen of the female is pretty amazing and fills a nice hole in the story. And also gives us a protagonist super.
Mm-hmm.
Which is something I like. And her relationship with Frenchie is neat.
Frenchie's my favorite. Let's just be real. Frenchie's my favorite.
Yeah, although again, with Frenchie, it's like, is he just in his own head about what's happening, or is there a relationship, It's like, it's like, I get the feeling Frenchie can just sort of be dissociated from reality in the way he approaches things.
It's all the drugs. All the drugs.
Yeah. But, it's very good. I am looking forward to season 2. Like I said, I got very disappointed when they canceled the Tick, because I thought this meant that they were going to be forsaking a more human idea of heroes, going just for sort of, I guess to me, I think of the Boys as a bigger name than the Tick. I could be wrong. They're both kind of indie comics.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think they're almost equal in the feather of their fandoms and stuff. But yeah, like on the mainstream things, I think the Boys are here, honestly.
Yeah.
There's a TV show and everybody, hear of a certain age and you watched it. Look at the Tick.
Yeah, and the Tick has actually had 3 shows now. So I mean, it's in the zeitgeist. I just, I guess for me, I just always want more Tick. I love that. I love that character, that story, that idea, and for Amazon to so cruelly cancel it, it's just.
It'll be back. Once the Tick hits big again, it'll be back. Don't you worry.
I know, but I really like, and I don't mind seeing the next iteration. It's just I really like this thing. It's like, when Marvel brings back Daredevil and all these guys, and they probably are going to use the same actors, at least in some of these cases.
He's still holding on to that hope.
Yeah, well,
until Kevin Feige says it, it's not true.
I know. Well, they're going to come back. They're too valuable of a commodity to leave. First up, the heroes are too valuable to leave on the shelf.
I want Vincent D'Onofrio back. Let's just be honest. That's the only person that we really.
Well, no, I think Luke Cage was very well done. I think Jessica Jones was great. Daredevil, he's kind of a blank slate. You can do whatever you want with him. But and as far as Iron Fist goes, I think he never had a chance. I think he was he is like the White Mandarin. He's just very hard to do. in a modern age. But they're doing the Mandarin, so who knows?
Comic books.
I thought we were like, oh yeah, we'll just do comic books this week. We're like 25 minutes in. We haven't talked one comic book yet.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we wanted to talk the boys.
I know.
The boys. Want to talk comic books?
Yes.
You want to transition right into Daredevil?
Phil's Comics Corner.
I don't care. Yeah, sure. Lilith, did you read Daredevil?
No, but that's okay. I don't care about spoilers.
I mean,
Okay. I have not given up my Daredevil is drugged theory.
yeah.
Again, a lot of blues this issue. And we do see him, like, sort of, when he's walking out, he misses a step and falls again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, there's a lot of interesting qualities to this. We don't see him take another pill, but again, like I said, all the pills keep on changing. But here's my biggest thing with it is, again, with his relationship with what's her name?
With the married woman, yes.
The married woman. Where, first off, he starts off by totally creeping on her.
Mm-hmm.
Then she's after him, and he's like, oh, don't want to talk to her. I was hoping she'd leave by now. And then they wind up back together again. I don't know. It's, like I said, it does not seem like the choices of a person who has all his faculties.
I mean, I'm enjoying this series so far, but I mean, and this issue's good. I mean, it starts off with, you know, Matt's in the park with Reed Richards that basically, like, is there a God, Reed?
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Which is, yeah. Well, but, and I love his answers. It's like, well, you know what? I've been to the afterlife. I've met several beings. Were they created the universe? I don't know. You know, I met both. I've met Jack Kirby, so maybe it's, yeah.
And I mean,
you know,
and I'm like I said, I'm loving this story. I mean, even though in the last 2 issues or so, we haven't had, like, you know, Matt in costume or anything. I'm loving the series, but just like, I don't know, the trope at the end of, you know, just Matt, you know, with the, come here, unhappy married woman. I will save you with my penis. You know, it's
well,
that trope just, you know.
Well, but first off, like I said, he was creeping on her from the start.
Mm-hmm.
So he opens as a creep to start with. So, you know, what bugged me is that suddenly when he feels being manipulated by her, all of a sudden he's like, oh, I don't know, can I be with someone so manipulative when he was manipulating her from the start?
Yeah.
And if anything, I think maybe it's because the power dynamic shifts. It's like, well, now that I can be the manipulator, not the manipulatee, I will happily join in as they stoop in front of the open window, because that's smart.
Well, maybe that's a plot point, but I mean, hey, yeah. Matt Murdock didn't see anything.
Well,
it's terrible.
But no, I'm not giving up on my Daredevil is drugged theory.
I just hope that's addressed where it's like, either he is drugged or, you know, it's, you know, he has to deal with an issue he has with women, and I just don't want them to sweep it off as like, oh, that's just Matt Murdock.
Yeah. Well, you know, and again, here's what I'm going to say. I'm waiting for it to reveal that he never was in the park with Reed Richards. That this is all hallucinations.
Oh, they're going to do the old man Quill thing. Okay.
Well, yeah. Well, you know, I mean, and again, because, like I said, with the whole, there's in the way that Daredevil reacts to that conversation, where he is literally saying, you know, you met the Beyonder. What are you talking about, Daredevil? You know,
I know. Yeah.
Is there a God? I don't know. There's a lot of stuff out there that says, oh, so you're an agnostic? It's like, that's not exactly in any way what I said. I don't know if there's a creator of the universe and he's taking care of us. I don't know if Catholicism is the right path, okay? Which was literally his point, which is like, I don't know. It seems ridiculous that one religion might be the one true path. But, you know, Daredevil, he's not in his head, you know? And I get the feeling, I mean, it would not surprise, hey, you know what? Let's not forget, Mysterio's back.
Mm-hmm.
And remember the last time Mysterio decided to...
Big this year.
Yeah, and remember the last time Mysterio decided that, you know, as a second-rate villain, he should take out a second-rate hero.
Oh, yeah, Spider-Man was busy being a clone, so he was like, I'll take out this Daredevil.
Yeah, well, you know, but it's just this idea. So I think this has lots of that Mysterio shades to it. That's my opinion.
Interesting. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. But speaking of Old Man Quill, we do get to see the inspiration for his craziness.
Oh, yeah. The Guardians are actually... Spoilers, the Guardians are actually dead. He's been hallucinating them the whole time.
Yeah, which we did know, although... And it's kind of weird when he does those flashbacks and he shows, oh, yeah, that was just me the whole time.
Yeah.
It's like, really? I don't know. It seems a little odd that one old guy is doing all this stuff, but, essentially, I would have to think that if one guy could take out all these people, you probably would have had more superheroes than just, one guy.
Yeah, I just wonder if he got some kind of power upgrade, because,
Yeah. Well, he is the Emperor of Spartak, so who knows?
But that doesn't do anything for you physically to be a ruler.
Exactly, so, and then, I like it, and they're looking for the ultimate nullifier, because Reed's got it somewhere.
But what does he find in the wreckage of the Baxter building?
Hulkbuster armor.
Uh-huh. Gonna smack the Shi'ar Imperial Guard around.
Yeah, he's gonna try to. What do you mean, bud?
The thing that holds the book for Cyclone, like it's hard though.
Oh, I think it's in Mom's room.
Okay.
Breaking news from Tristan Esser.
Yeah, he's looking for his music stand for his so he can practice his guitar. So we may get a little musical
guitar.
Okay.
Oh.
Lilith, what book did you read? Can we just talk two that we read that you didn't?
There was only one Spider book. So, Sensational Spider-Man, Self-Improvement #1.
Oh, yes.
Oh, man. Peter David.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm in love with this book. I'm not going to lie.
It's very interesting, Charlie. You might like it because it's like they played with the before they came up with the symbiote. I guess a fan came up with the idea for the black suit back in the day, and it's like a suit Reed builds for him.
Yeah, stable molecules.
And like cybernetic web shooters and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Yes, I did see a spoiler for that. In the King, he says, I don't know if I'm going to keep the black suit. I don't want people to think I'm some sort of venomous monster.
Well, yeah. In the story, there's like a little girl who thinks he's a bad guy just because he's dressed in black.
Yeah.
Donate to a deaf or blind foundation to keep that girl quiet.
Check out Spider-Cast.
Yes.
But yeah, and then there was a backup story by Tom DeFalco and Ron Friends, who I talked to last night.
It's a great interview, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Seen it, scroll down.
Yeah, so we're going to hit the podcast tomorrow, probably so. Pittsburgh native Ron Friends.
Oh, hey, Pittsburgh!
Like you.
What?
You should have had him say Gotham, and just if it's you or if it's a Pittsburgh thing.
Oh, we're going to get our Rob Southgate revenge.
Okay. Did you read Immortal Hulk, Lilith?
No, I'm behind on it. I'm so behind.
Oh wait, before we get there, Lilith, did you read House of X #2?
The best Marvel book this week, yes.
Oh.
Okay.
Like the first issue, it was like, okay, but can he keep this consistency up? And turns out the answer is yes.
Mm-hmm.
So here's my question with this. Because this is a basically Captain America at the end of Endgame kind of question. Are these alternate universes, alternate paths that she's living in, and now this is the universe that we're in? And so the previous history is what we all know it to be, and this is how she has come to where she's at? Or is the suggestion that she is altering time in this current universe, and that's why I just heard this embassy that I've never heard from this country I've never heard of before in that first issue, where it's like that essentially she has just shattered the X-Men's timeline again, and has so that basically this is now everyone's past has changed, and it is in the same. It's always in the same universe, but she keeps on changing it every time she lives and dies, which is kind of crazy. Doesn't make any sense, but then again, it's the X-Men, so.
I feel like it's the latter, not the former.
Yeah, I kind of feel like it's first off, as I said, Reed has to have a long talk with his son about what he does with these universes when he's rebuilding them. And not for nothing, they mentioned Franklin in that first issue, and I gotta think, it's like, I would have more known, yeah, you messed up everything. I'm not even supposed to be a mutant. What are you talking about?
Well, that retcon kind of almost makes sense, because Lilith, didn't Moira get, I think, when they killed her off a couple years ago, supposedly she was the only human who had contracted the legacy virus, which supposedly only affected mutants, so.
Yeah, exactly.
So that kind of makes sense.
They finally came back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although one could make the secondary argument that if she had this power, then obviously Charles Xavier, because we know Charles Xavier, not a man who knows boundaries.
Argument there for me.
Would absolutely have known this from the start. It's like, oh, so you just live the same loop of a life over and over again. But I love Destiny basically calling her out on this and saying, we could just,
oh yeah,
we could just kill you before you're born.
Yeah, or if you try to change major stuff, it's like, I'm going to have a vision and see what you're doing. Yeah.
Exactly. Now I know what to look for, It's pretty awesome. And then she says, yeah, I can even see your future in this looped timeline you're in,
And didn't Destiny explain to her that she's only she's only going to live 11 or 12 lifetimes, and she's on her 10th right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. So it's but it's like Doctor Who. You can throw in a 13th Doctor if you need to. Because Destiny can only see a vision of the future. Too far out, it gets cloudy.
Mm-hmm. But Moira.
So they could play this trope forever, except for the problem that it reboots the entire universe every time she dies.
But she basically tries it everyone's way. Xavier's, Magneto. She even goes to Apocalypse in one timeline.
Yeah. Surprisingly, she never teams up with Mr. Sinister.
He's the smartest one. Let's just be real.
Well, it strikes me, and we said there's a lot of Mr. Sinister qualities here, with what we've seen with the birthing pods and all that.
Yeah, very quiet on the Sinister front, so.
Yeah, so, although they quote him in the first book, Mr. Essex, they do quote him, and the fact of the matter is, I think, by the way, is it just me, or is he called Mr. Sinister just because he's left-handed?
I really feel that way as a lefty. It's like the very thing to do.
Because he's Victorian England-y, so, that they would know that, it means left-handed. And so, Mr. Sinister there, with his left-handed.
Sinister left-handed.
Yes, so, I'm not down with the whole time travel, but I guess it's baked into the X-Men, It's like you can't do the X-Men without doing stupid time travel.
If you do time travel, you gotta do big space battles. It's just what you do if you're writing X-Men.
But it just amazes me that they don't run afoul of time travelers more, Kang or Ramatut or any of these guys. It's like those are Avengers villains, but
yeah, but it's not like classic time travel though. It's like she lives a life, dies, comes back to where she started, and with the complete knowledge of the did before.
Yeah, but it's
it's definitely a curious case.
Okay, Ben.
Yes. But like I said, Franklin needs to learn to put universes back where he finds them.
This is what happens when you don't give your children spankings.
Whoa.
Yes. Well, you know what it is? He just had, and not for nothing. It's like, how do people forget that, the Molecule Man is a villain? It's like, he's not quite as villainy. We'll let him build the universes with Franklin, Because for all we know, Franklin is, the Molecule Man who is the one not putting things back where people.
Well, I mean, I always took that as he's so powerful. It's like, well, if we don't work with him, we can't bring the multiverse back.
Yeah, I mean that's true. And for what it's worth, Owen Reese sometimes has. Honestly, I loved him in Secret Wars too. He was a really, when he was with Volcana, he was a very mellow guy. Mm-hmm. But and speaking of which, did anyone here read Future Foundation this week?
Not yet, no.
Okay.
Yeah, pass by it. Please inform us.
Okay, well, first off, of course, Bentley 23 is awesome, as always. He is basically. I love him because he's just like super villainy, superheroism. That is just so silly. I am a scientist, and that's what I am, and I'm better than all of you because he's always picking on the powers for being dumb people or regular people. But no, this is what I love. Okay, so this character, by the name of Rebecca, because they're looking for the Molecule Man, and they find the Molecule Man's signature in this Rebecca character. And you may notice she's got some trademark scars on her face. Wait, where is it? You see that?
Oh, Molecule Man type scars.
Yeah, on only one side. I'm thinking this might be Molecule Man and Volcana's daughter. You know, but there is some kind of suggestion that maybe she's from another universe or something because she makes a reference. Because when Katie Power is talking about her time at Avengers Academy, that's when she's like, wait, it can't be the same universe, kind of thing. So it's all very interesting. Yeah, I thought the scars were on both sides of her face, only on one side of her face, and there's somewhat inconsistent in it. But then, of course, they see that in this prison they have to break into, someone else has been captured. It's Dr. Richards, our mentor. How could we leave him behind? We have to break him out. How did he get in here? And, of course, it's the Maker. And not for nothing, how do you mistake, gray-haired old guy Reed Richards that you spent like 15 years with for teenage crazy Reed Richards who you're literally just meeting? I mean, yes, okay, they look a lot alike, I guess, although no one ever draws them to look in any way similar. But it's like, yeah, I again, this sort of makes Bentley's point about Alex Power being dumb. Like, why did you think that was Reed Richards? That's clearly not Reed Richards. And read your freaking dossier. You know who the Maker is,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Speaking of the Maker, he made another appearance this week. I'm sure Lilith probably read this. Charlie, I wonder if you got this for Tristan or not. Absolute Carnage, #1.
Yeah, I did. It's everything I expected Absolute Carnage book to be.
Yes. Is that a good or a bad?
A little bit of both, to be honest. But $8 is really freaking steep. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Tristan this week.
Oh, Marvel Zombies.
Got Marvel Zombies and Marvel Zombies 2, which he has read both cover to cover. Big fan. They were asking if I got you Absolute Carnage because that came out this week. So.
What's Absolute Carnage?
It's a new crossover event about Carnage.
Carnage, Venom.
Carnage, Venom, all of those guys, and it's some kind of Carnage takes over the Marvel Universe kind of concept.
I definitely thought that they got Johnny Cates, so it's just like, okay, this is going to be a love letter, and it was lots of action, but it also, he's trying to, fill in some holes there because it's Carnage. It's like, how can you keep an ongoing Carnage?
Well, yeah, I mean,
yeah. Is this an alternate universe story, or is this in main continuity?
It's main continuity, right? Yeah, I mean, it's basically Carnage is going after anyone who's ever worn a symbiote, and then, I mean, the issue basically ends with Venom and Spider-Man and Ravencroft because Carnage has come after Norman Osborn.
Yeah. But it's 60 pages, though, so I'm just like, $8, 60 pages, I don't know. I still feel like it was a little steep.
Yeah.
But the artwork, I like the artwork.
Oh. Is it just one book, or is it a series?
Is it a maxi series?
I think it's a mini series, but there's a bunch of mini series with it. Looks like 5 issues of Absolute Carnage, but of course it crosses over into Venom. There's a couple issues of Amazing Spider-Man, and then they have some Absolute Carnage, Miles Morales, Absolute Carnage, Lethal Protectors, Absolute Carnage vs. Deadpool, Absolute Carnage Separation Anxiety. Then there's some ones, I think, where there's a Ghost Rider one, Symbiote Spider-Man, it says. Avengers, Immortal Hulk.
So wait, is Deadpool Secret Wars now actually continuity?
Maybe. They haven't showed Deadpool yet, but maybe.
Well, I mean, if he's going after people who wore the symbiote, and I'm just saying,
that's the secret twist.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, like I said, it's interesting, and I'm probably going to go ahead and do all the Carnage stuff, including the crossovers. So,
did that come with a code or no code for it?
Yeah, there's a code. Yeah,
of course,
there is a code.
Yeah, it's a Marvel book. Of course, it comes with a code. Who do you think they are?
Fair enough.
Who do you think they are? DC.
True that.
Did anybody read Agents of Atlas? Like, I loved. Okay, you had me at Amadeus show. Not even gonna lie, and Silk.
Yeah.
So I was just like, those are the only two people I care about. But everybody else is really great in the book too. Like, so yeah, they bring all the Asian characters together. I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. Does this seem like a reach? But no, I enjoy it.
I actually was very excited about it. I just, like I said, sometimes you got to make those hard choices.
I feel you, son.
And, and not for nothing, Agents of Atlas, and I know they wanted to make this as the premier, Pacific group superhero team. But, it's like, man, no Gorilla Man, no Venus, no living robot, it's a little...
Well, Gorilla Man's an Avengers.
It's not my Avengers,
Yeah, Gorilla Man's basically an Avengers right now, but... Yeah.
I know, and betraying everybody, so that's like, Gorilla Man. Doing that heel turn. Don't like that, man. But no, what I was very excited about, I definitely got the first issue. I really loved the first issue I read with the tie-in to the War of the Realms, and I really like the characters. They're all very cool, but I don't have enough time and money to read every book I want to read. So, and I really love it because it also has, Jimmy Cho. When I love anytime you have a 50s character come back.
Did we lose Lilith again?
Oh, maybe. Yeah. Although, like I said, I get a little disappointed that they gave Jimmy Cho short shrift in the Ant-Man series.
Oh yeah.
So. Yeah, with the Ant-Man movie, I was waiting for a big reveal for him, like a Coulson level reveal, and they never did it. So that was disappointing.
Oh, I know we're talking Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. on super connectivity.
Oh yeah. Well, there's a lot to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
yeah, that too. Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
We'll save Immortal Hulk. We'll see if Lilith comes back. But you probably didn't read it, but Punisher 14 was out this week.
Yeah, he's chasing down the giant.
Well,
right?
No. That's what Punisher Kill Crew. No, this is just Punisher. This is
this is just
yeah. No. It's just him. Still fighting with Zemo and Zemo's brought the Thunderbolts and reorganized the Thunderbolts. So like Black Widow comes in and basically gives Frank his own team. It's Night Thrasher. Well, Black Widow's there. Night Thrasher, Moon Knight. And then Frank drags in Danny Ketch because Danny Ketch Ghost Rider's getting his own book again. So I don't know if this is like a backdoor, for that.
Yeah.
Danny
once a Ghost Rider, always.
Danny Ketch doesn't even want to help Frank, but like Frank just knocks him out, and then Danny Ketch wakes up on the street. He's like, "Yeah, I killed a bunch of these criminals. Yeah, their friends are coming, so you might want to transform."
Yeah,
Frank just being But between fighting Frank Castle, Zemo has a death wish because he's just angering the Kingpin too. The mayor of New York.
Yeah,
they're supposed to be working together, and Zemo, he's like, here, Zemo, because Zemo's got a bunch of Hydra guys too, and he's like, so Fisk is like, here, put on these, what do you have? He is U.S. U.S. Army uniforms. He's like, here, have them wear these, so it looks like. The system is against Frank Castle, but meanwhile, Frank blew a bunch of them away, and they had their Hydra costumes underneath him. He's like, I'm gonna kill Zemo.
Why would you wear a Hydra costume?
I don't know.
Underneath the other.
That's what I'm thinking. I don't know. For some reason, if Zemo's just looking to anger the Kingpin, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Speaking of Amadeus Cho, he's not really in the book, but Champions 8 came out. That was a lot of fun.
Which one is that? 8?
Champions 8, yes. Long story short, everybody, as luck would have it, winds up at the same location, which is a little coincidental, but you have the, what are they called? The the freelancers, which are like the evil champions that we previously met, and they're showing up at this army base to steal stuff, and then the champions come in to start fighting them, and then this army base also happens to be the place where the Nova helmet is being kept, so they go there to sort of sort that out. So they all wind up in the same place. Everybody winds up fighting, and then he gets the Nova helmet back, which is great. And then the most important part is, Absent lives! Yay! He's not dead. He's still a bureaucrat with the Nova Corps. And he says, now give us back the helmet, kid. And he's like, nope. You already said the helmet doesn't work for you guys. It's bounded to me. It wants to be with me. It's my helmet, and I'm not going to let you take it. But you can take this villain back as a prisoner. And it's like, yeah, okay, whatever. But we'll probably come back and take it anyway. But for right now, we're just going to call it a day. And then we find out that Riri Williams has done a heel turn and has shot Viv. Bum bum bum. Yeah, because Viv, I don't know, there's some kind of weird thing though. I mean, we got the original champions back in on the cover of next issue, but I don't know, because they had them on the cover of this issue, but they weren't in it, so I don't know. I don't know what we're doing with that, but it's misleading covers. That is the story of it all. And
you know what they should do? You know what they should do? If Amadeus is on Agents of Atlas, they could do some kind of crossover at some point.
Well, yeah, and maybe they will.
All right, Lilith's not coming back. Her rabbit got her cord or something. So
her rabbit got her cord. Okay. Oh, that's right. She has a pet rabbit.
I'm assuming.
Pet rabbit.
Do you want to talk Immortal Hulk?
Yeah, or we can do it on Super. It's whatever you want to do. I got 4 more comic books I can talk about. We can just keep on talking comic books, or we can go do stuff on Super Connectivity. It's all. How long do you want this show to last?
Oh, I don't care. Yeah, we can go do Super Connectivity.
Yeah, it's up to you, but yeah. Well, you know what? Let's do the quick. Do you want to do a quick Immortal Hulk? Or you want to go into depth?
I don't care. We can go into depth. That's what I said. Save it for Super Connectivity. That's fine.
Okay, we'll do it on Super. Okay,
tease the people. Follow us to Super Connectivity this week.
Which will be in 5 minutes if you're on the Get Vocal app.
Alrighty, everyone. So, yes, send us your thoughts on The Boys, any of these comic books we talked this week, anything you want to hear us talk about. capesandlunatics@gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/capesandlunatics, @capeslunatics on Twitter, Capes and Lunatics on Instagram. Check out Work in Progress, capesandlunatics.org. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and our weekly newsletter at capesandlunatics.home.blog. Call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And yeah, like we said, you can watch us do this live at getvokl.com. And hopefully, I think now it's even streaming to our Facebook page. I think Periscope's putting it up on the Twitter. So yeah, follow us on social media. Then you can watch us live every time. All right, Charlotte Esser.
Okay. Well, I'd like to write to me in that old-fashioned email way the way our mothers and fathers once did long, long ago. You can do so at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, @gmail.com. Of course, follow me on Twitter when I live tweet things, which is not allowed to live tweet right now, but if I ever do again, you can do so at Charlie Esser. That's CharlieEsser. Look for the 2 E's in the middle.
For quality. Bing! And follow Lilith Hellfire on Twitter at Lilith Hellfire, and on Instagram Lilith Hellfire 69 because she got it.
Oh, she will get it. That's for sure.
Leave that there. All right, everyone. Again, thank you for joining us. Again, follow us over to Super Connectivity for more fun. But until next time, we and Lilith have been the Capes.
I'm Poseidon!
Lunatics! I just need a drop of her saying Lunatics. I need so many drops.
There is a banana icon on the Get Vocal app that says "Don't slip up," and I don't know what it does.
I'm trying to remember. I think it's just tips or something.
Good. Manage broadcast, share, don't slip up. I don't know, I thought maybe that's a square button. And then I got 4 friend requests. Who wants to be my friend?
Everyone wants to be Charlie S's friend.
Yeah, apparently.
Could you be Charlie S's friend?